I want to fail in front of people. I want to fall on my face. I want to try so many new things that I fail at them because that's the only way. I mean, you fail at things when you try them for the first time, or I don't want to say like, and it's not a failure. It's like you will mess up things when you try them for the first time. Hey YouTube, what's up? If you've been here before, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Vanessa. I'm an American who's moving abroad, and that's what this channel is for. This is a space for us to talk, reflect, talk about our excitements and fears about moving abroad and about just being an American right now. Okay, there's a lot going on in the world, and I need a space to talk about it. So if that's something that you're interested in, stay tuned and you're in the right place. So this is my series about moving abroad, and this morning when I was journaling, deciding what I wanted to talk about today, I realized that there's less than a month to go before I move. So a month from now, I will be in a new country with a new language, with new people, a new government, just so much new stuff. And I'm so excited about it. I am nervous. I'm nervous. The excitement is almost like it's so strong. It's overpowering everything else. So the only word people are like, how are you feeling? I'm like, I'm excited. That's really all I can say. I'm gonna miss my family, so there's like some sadness there. I know leaving's gonna be really hard, like the actual day of leaving is gonna be really sad. But I'm so excited. I'm so happy that I am going out to fulfill this dream that I've had since I was 18 years old. So I couldn't be more excited. But today I want to talk about something that I'm nervous about, like a big fear factor of mine, and that is the language barrier coupled with being an American. So I want this video to be about more about the language, but a big factor of that is me speaking English as an American. I feel like this opportunity to move to a new country, I chose Spain for a reason. And that reason is because I studied Spanish growing up, in, elementary school, middle school, but I studied Spanish in college too. And I was like very good at Spanish. I was very good at reading, listening, yeah, and writing Spanish. I was like reading books. Like I read Twilight in Spanish. I did a semester abroad in Barcelona too. And I think my biggest regret about that time period is that I never achieved fluency because I was just so nervous about how I sounded. Again, like I could read, I could listen, I could write, but I never really got that high level of fluency. Now, this was over 10 years ago, so I don't want to say I've forgotten a lot of it, but I have. I think a lot of the language is still in my head. I know a lot of language is still in my head, but there is a lot I've forgotten. So I am really nervous about that part, but I almost feel like this is like a second chance for me to be able to go and learn this language that is beautiful and I fell in love with as a young girl and have always wanted to be able to speak on my own. So, yeah, I feel like this is like a big goal. I chose Spain for this reason because I want to practice my Spanish and it's like a huge goal of mine. I don't know if I will be in Spain forever. I don't feel like Spain is like the last country I will try and live in, but just because it's such a big world. But I am so excited about the language component, and it's a big reason of why I chose Spain specifically. So because I have studied learning a second language, teaching a second language, I do know that a big hurdle to speaking a language is just not wanting to sound like a toddler. Like that's why a lot of adults don't learn languages. It's because of the fear of messing up, of sounding stupid. And I had all of these fears, especially when I was in college, 18 to 22, I think was probably my most insecure self. Just because it's like, those years almost feel like adult puberty. But I was so nervous and just so insecure about sounding dumb and like just messing up words, messing up conjugations. I was nervous about people not being able to understand me, things like that. No, I'm still nervous, but I definitely, now that I'm in my 30s, I have done so much work to figure out why the fear of failure holds me back from things because that's what it is. It's the fear of failure. And in my work to uncover that and to figure that out, I am like now in the space where I'm like, I want to fail in front of people. I want to fall on my face. I want to try so many new things that I fail at them because that's the only way. I mean, you fail at things when you try them for the first time, or I don't want to say like, and it's not a failure. It's like you will mess up things when you try them for the first time. So now that I'm older, I'm actually I think I've tricked my brain to the point where I'm like, no, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna sound like someone who just started speaking the language. Like that is what I am. I'm gonna sound like a toddler because I just started speaking this language. And I have this plan to also make TikToks where I'm speaking in Spanish online. I thought of that, but then I like also saw other people doing that on TikTok. So I'm like, okay, I didn't invent this. But I have plans to do language exchange, like really just put myself in the city in a different way than I was able to when I was younger because I was just younger and I didn't know how to be as intentional about learning the language, putting myself in spaces where I would like it's going to be a cultural immersion, right? I want to go abroad and have a Spanish experience. I don't want to go abroad and have an American in Spain experience, if that makes sense. So I want to speak Spanish. I want to learn the language, and I know what's going to come with that is messing up, is sounding like a toddler, is making mistakes, not being able to respond to people immediately. Really going to have to slow down. That's a big thing of my one of my biggest things, and another reason why I'm excited to go to a different country and experience a different culture. I am very sped up. I'm very quick. I do not enjoy that pace, right? Like, so I'm not that way, but the culture and the work environment that I've been in over the last few years have like really, really sped me up. And I've enjoyed so much slowing down and not feeling like I need to give people immediate responses or be on call or handle things when people ask me to, as soon as they ask me to do things like that. So that's going to be a big part of the language too, right? Like when someone speaks to me, literally, like there's going to be a few seconds where I need to figure out what they are understanding before I can even draft in my mind a response at the level of language that I know how to use. So I know it's going to be a lot of slowing down, and it's going to feel different. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but I'm excited about that because that's where we grow. And that's where when we put ourselves in these uncomfortable places, that's where the most growth happens. That's where the most uncovering and learning about ourselves happens too. So I'm talking to this video, but I'm also like talking to myself, like getting myself in that headspace of what's to come with learning the language. There's something else I'm nervous about too, and that's specifically being an American in Spain. So I have seen things online and it's sort of tricky. Let me know if you guys if you feel what I'm saying here because the internet is just a spooky place, right? There's so much information on the internet and there's so much that is true, but there's so much that also is fake. There's so much that can be true for certain people, but isn't true for everyone. And, or like, maybe it's true it happened one time, but it doesn't mean that it's happening like in every city, in every place in the world. So I am very aware that there have been, I don't even know if it's like anti-American, but like I guess anti-American, anti like gringo, anti gentrification and housing inflation that is going on, like as a result of Westerners or other people from other countries moving to other countries, specifically Americans, coupled with what is going on just nationally and internationally with our government. It's not a secret that people are looking at Americans differently right now. And I'm nervous just because I want to portray myself and carry myself not as an American who's coming somewhere. Like I'm going to another country to teach English. So I know that's not like it's not the same thing as what are they called, missionaries. But because I'm going somewhere and bringing a part of my culture, I also just want to make sure that I do it in a way that's respectful of another culture. Like I'm going there with my American mindset of about what my experience in education was like, or what my experience of learning a language was like. And that experience, just by default, because it's a different country, is going to be very different in Spain versus here than it is in America. The it's different in every country. So I say all that to say that I am aware of the perception of Americans, and I just want to make sure that I am carrying myself, and I will. Like I'm a respectful person, but that's just something that's on my mind. I can't control what other people think, and I want to, like, come in and be respectful of another country's culture, but I also want to come in and like bring my true self too, right? So like I'm coming over there with a curious mindset while also still being proud of who I am. Like I am an American and I can't hide that, and I'm not going to lie and say I'm not. So I'm not going somewhere to like hide who I am. But I also don't want to go somewhere and try and like have my culture dominate whatever space I'm in. So I know that I won't do that. At least I hope not. It's top of mind for me. It's not something that I typically do, but I think that the perception of Americans abroad is one that it can be. People might think that. So I guess that's just something I'm a little nervous about. Is just being like just such an American. The other thing I'm nervous about, and I sort of just touched on this, is just like the day to day interaction. So like going to the supermarket, going to the post office. I don't even know, just like walking down the street, going to the store, ordering food, things like that. Again, these are situations that I have not been in before, just in terms of the language barrier. So I am going to have to slow down, give myself a few seconds before I can give someone a response. And that is, I have so much interaction, I have so much experience with that in the United States. I live in a part of the country that is very diverse, which is amazing. I love it so much. There's so many different languages where I live. So I am used to interacting with people who I am used to interacting with people whose second language is English. So I'm just hoping that people will be as, and I think they will be as patient with me, because I know people here aren't always patient with second language learners, with people whose, I don't know how to say this. I know that people are not always as patient with people whose second language is English in the United States. So I am nervous about that. I'm hoping that karma is real, and because I interact with people respectfully, no matter what language they speak. But I am nervous, I think, just because of how I see how non-English speakers are treated in America. I hope that more grace is shown to me when I go to another country. With that said, I'm going to be making a huge effort to learn the language because I think that's respectful of the culture. So we'll see. We'll see. I can't figure it all out before I get there, but definitely something that I am a little nervous about. And I think the last thing is just I'm just nervous about looking dumb. And I hate even saying that, but I wrote it down, so I want to be honest. And all the things I just mentioned too are worries about external perception. So I can see just, through my journaling and what's in my mind, that I am nervous about how I'm going to be perceived in another country. I'm American. I look very American. I mean, I'm a black American. I'm very tall. So even like when I've gone to other countries, like obviously there are black people all over the world. But for some reason people just always know I'm from America. I don't know, maybe it's the way I talk, I guess my accent, I have an American accent. But I stick out, and I know that everywhere I go, it will be obvious that I'm not of Spanish descent. So I am worried about what other people will think of me and how they'll see me. But um the other side to that is that yes, I have those worries, but I honestly, there are things that I just have to let go, because at the end of the day, I can't be so worried about what other people think of me that I'm letting that hinder my experience. I actually think that that's something that hinders a lot of people's travel experience, is feeling like because you don't speak the same language or because you look differently, you have this sense or like this thought that everyone's looking at you, when in reality, they aren't. I don't think they are. They're not. Most people are worried about their own stuff that they have going on. So I'm gonna just keep telling myself that and not worry so much about, yeah, like looking stupid. Like I'm telling myself I want to fail. I want to fall in front of people. I don't want to say the word fail, but like I want to mess up in front of people because that's the only way that I can learn to like messing up in front of other people builds trust in two ways. It builds trust with myself because I know that yes, I might mess up one time, but I'm going to pick myself back up and do it again. So that builds trust with myself just knowing that hey, it's okay to mess up. Like you know that you will be able to figure it out. And then it also just builds trust with other people because yeah, if I mess up a word when I'm talking with someone and then they tell me the right word and then it's like they're helping me out. So starting new things and doing things that are difficult and uncomfortable. Yes, it will be uncomfortable at first, but it is a way that we can grow. So, I just wanted to share, like, those are my fears right now, just in terms of the language and being perceived as an American or I am an American, so I don't even think I'm saying that right, but yeah, the language barrier is a big one. And I am curious from people who either have moved abroad or want to move abroad, is the language barrier, is that something that holds you back? Because I'm interested in this because I want to move to other countries too. Like I want to try out other countries. The world is so big. I love France so much. I know I want to spend at least like a year of my life living in France. I don't speak French. And I know, I follow a lot of Americans online who live in Bangkok, who live in other parts of Thailand, other parts of Southeast Asia, and who don't speak the language. So, but that scares me because I'm like, well, I want to be able to speak. But then I'm like, you know what? I'm telling myself too, if I learn Spanish next year, I think that it will also like really boost my confidence. And I'm like, okay, I moved to Spain, I learned Spanish, I can move to France and learn French. Like if I try, right? I'm trying to do it. So we'll see. But I'd love to hear from you all. Did you learn the language of the country you moved to? Or if you're not moving, is the language aspect something that is making or breaking your decision? Let me know. All right, y'all. Well, I'll be back tomorrow with another video about something moving abroad topic. So if you enjoyed this, give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe. I am building my channel one subscriber at a time. Okay, one brick at a time, brick by brick. I built this brick by brick. Okay, so we had more subscribers than we had last week. Okay, so let's keep it going. We'll be in double digits soon. All right, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk with you soon. Bye.